So last week on the channel we went live to get stuck into it, to get right into the deep end, to get right into the weeds and see what do I have sitting there for Champion Euro. What does it mean to play Champion Euro Classic next year with the in-season competitions all being league specific for Liga and Bundesliga and La Liga and the Premier League. This video here today, we're going to the other side of the coin and we're looking at the All-Star. We're looking at everything except for Champion Euro, because we all have those cards somewhere, and although the Champion Euro region and those in-season leagues, the top 4 leagues in Europe as it were, is where the big money cards are, there's still definitely money to be won, streaks to be hit, and cards and all that other good stuff to be had in the other regions, in the other competitions that might offer a better budget route to go, or might just have a bit of a more organic approach for some of you guys, depending on where your strategy, where your gallery's at. And in the video today, I'm going to have a look at it for me, because for me, outside the Champion Euro, it really is covered in green and white for the most part. It is predominantly Celtic. Now, the main classic competition is going to be All-Star Arena. Is what everyone's kind of weighing up to be. Before then, you win in-season cards to play an in-season challenger, league-specific competitions we mentioned earlier for the Champion Euro leagues, as well as maybe Jupiler League, the Belgian League, or the Dutch League Eredivisie, which will have their own special in-season league-specific competition as well. So there's a lot of interesting angles coming at this one, from the kind of legacy team stack perspective, as well as the all-star angle, as well as like classic being SO7, happy hardcore mode, and everything else that goes around that as well. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you did miss the Champ Euro stream that we did kind of as a precursor to this video, I'll link it at the end of this video so you can go and check it out, and I'll pop it in the description of the video as well in case you want to go and watch that at your leisure. If you are brand new to Sorare and you have not opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description of this video that'll get you $50, pounds, euros, whatever your currency is, of market credit to help you go out there and reinforce your squad ahead of the 25-26 season. If you do get stuck, if you've got any questions, all the beginner tutorials you need will be in the description of the video, and you can always just jump into the comment section and I'll I'll answer any questions, anything you get stuck at. Of course, I'll come in there and help you out. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it, because this is I don't know if this is a sore one. I don't know if we're picking a scab here, but I was very much an all-star focused player myself before last year. It kind of got semi-retired for it now to come back into prominence this year. And one thing that I realised at the end of that stream, if you've seen it already, you'd have noticed this, and if you haven't, tiny bit of a spoiler, but Sorare has completely updated all of their filter systems for you to look at your gallery here. So if you click on Challenger, you will see the Serie A guys come into that. We'll talk about that later if you need to get up to speed with that, of course, as well as Celtic and everything else that goes around that, which means now, for someone like me that has Celtic cards, maybe you've got Austrian cards as well, could be a number of different things that's going on, I can now look at Contender and now see the cards that I have in this region that I actually don't need or want anymore. I only got Contender strength to support the Celtic cards that I had. Now, I do not plan in any way, shape or form to play Contender in season, although I do have a bit of a head start. I do have an in-season goalkeeper in Kim Dong-jun. I've got an in-season striker for a little while longer in Victor Roque. Montiel at River Plate, I've maybe got a few bits and bobs going around here. But failing any of those kind of backdoor entries that I might be able to get my hands on through the J and the K League or whatever, I am not pursuing Contender in season. I'm not trying to, get a cheap stack on the go or do anything around it. Now, I do have all these legacy collection cards. Some of them, like Juan Alano, I'm not going to keep anymore because they've also changed the collection rules where I don't actually need Juan Alano anymore. There's more collections scored getting given to players now, and you unlock it a bit quicker, which is nice. And I'm actually going to look to try and cash in on the likes of the in-season players that I've got here that I only got in to supplement Celtic or to help me be evergreen throughout the calendar. Despite there being no European football, I would have still been able to play. Guys like Navas and Neymar really do come into that, but again, these guys could be global level players if they were fit and available every week. Navas is maybe in that conversation a bit more than Neymar. Really, like Efra Alvarez, James Rodriguez, I'll probably keep these guys. All the other ones that are in collections, I'll be looking to keep. I do have 2 in the Rockies. I don't think I need 2 of them. Can let 1 go. Berardi's going to go into Serie A. Probably keep a hold of him for the time being. But this is where it gets tough, right? Cuisance I don't mind getting rid of. Wanizek is all-star level. Wanizek is hardcore mode level, and we won him. So I'm rather I'm quite open to keeping Wanazek, and I probably will keep him. And the same goes for Shaqiri, the Alpine Messi himself, because again, as a classic card, he's only going to play All-Star, and he is All-Star caliber domestically. And let's see how Basel do in Europe this year. So there may be a little bit of the exceptions of the guys that I have still in the club that don't fit into a collection, that play in this region, that I'm going to try and keep my hands on here. And it's only because those two guys could play in an all-star best of SO7 lineup across all regions and whatever. And yeah, Tanny is probably now the kind of the stinky one here, because Tanny's now not under 23 anymore, so he's only a global keeper now. So I've always, I guess, just going to have a classic contingent of these guys because of transfers that have happened, so on and so forth. But yeah, guys like Ephra, I've got a wee soft spot for him as well. I don't mind keeping those types of guys. But otherwise, it's the same as Quattro. You know, like, I don't mind keeping some bits and bobs here. But overall, like, this strategy for me can go in the bin. I'm not really going to play it this year. I'm not going to actively pursue it. But again, over time, if we win more in-season cards, maybe again organically, we'll get into it towards the back end of the year with European and South American cards, which will be fine at that point. But coming into this season, I don't want it. You know, I don't want to be involved in it. I'm going to try and focus a bit more on Challenger as the non-champion Euro kind of based region, where, bearing in mind, if they're not playing in season, they're playing all-star for classic or arena, which might be themed, but for the most part it's quite the same. And in that context, we do get Mike Mignan is available. We've got two Schmeichels who are handcuffed with Sinisalos. We've got a Butez, we've got a Mitov who's also Bulgaria under 21, and then we've got those Seagrists and Gordons lying around. But I probably don't need this Oxborough anymore, because there's no region for him to help with, and with Mignan coming in, Butez coming in, like, there's just less pressure. Same with the Seagrist. McCracken's a young Scottish keeper, so we'll just kind of keep him. But when I'm looking at the rest of these positions, I know I'm going to get a lot of Celtic, right? But what I'm also trying to watch out for is, oh yeah, Max Aarons has moved to Rangers, hasn't he? I forgot all about that. But is seeing outside of the Celtic defences who else is in here, because I probably won't need them, because the Celtic defence is going to play in-season Challenger, maybe is one of the classic spots. I wouldn't be against that. Celtic defenders and goalkeepers score very, very well. But for classic, they'll be going into All-Star, where I've got Wanazeks, I've got Shakiris, I've got Champ Overspill that we don't really touch on in this video, but you can see it in the other one as well. It's having even likes of Angelino or Kevin De Bruyne maybe in midfield or whatever. But yeah, I've kind of got the length and breadth for the defence that I want for this year. We could maybe do with getting a second Trusty in if he's cheap enough as a classic. But we've got two Tierneys, we've got three AJs, I think. We've got three Vickers. We've got a bit of everything really here, which is great to see for depth and quality of options. I have put this Scales on the available list because I don't think we need an Aberdeen Scales anymore now that we've got two Celtic ones. And in midfield, those Serie A guys really stand out, don't they? Seeing De Bruyne, Ikone and Kakare mixed in here with the hoops, which is nice. Ivan Yame or Jamie or whatever has been back to Porto. He was only at Valencia on loan. Jamie McGrath went to Hibs. That could be really good. Lennon Miller probably won't stay in this region, so we're not going to really count any chickens on him, as it were. But we've got Hatates for days. We've got McGregors everywhere. Engels's we've got doubles of. We've got doubles of McCowan as well. We've done that this year with the new collection score bonus. So the midfield is okay, but it probably still does need those Shakiris and Wanazeks in an all-star setting where a Celtic defence is pretty buff, but you do need those stacked midfielders to come in and help it. And we know Celtic forwards have got huge scoring potential when fit and available, and we've kind of just got about enough of them lying around. We've also got Sané, Joe David have moved into this region, so that's kind of fun as well, isn't it? As well as Castellanos. We've still got Hetate, but Jordan Larson as well. So we might have some fun with the in-season comps depending on who else is playing and whatever. But the forward is maybe quite thin, but we probably will only play one forward in SO7. And I don't know if we will be bringing classic forwards into the in-season comp, so it's probably quite okay for the most part. We'll see how it does maybe shake out with some of the details or whatever. But what I've now managed to do going through that squad here is I've now got a nice little available list here of 19 cards that I want to and will go around the market, go around the bots with, and try and get these guys consolidated into players and cards I don't have that I really want. And you guys know me, there's not really much out there that's like a meta card that I'm going to try and get my hands on. I'm going to try and turn these guys into functional parts of the existing gallery that already enhance what I've kind of got going on here already. I've kind of looked at the galleries I've got. I don't need doublers of Palmas and the Rockies, as we mentioned earlier. And otherwise, across the board, there's some decent profiles here of guys in Russia playing goalkeepers, Neymar, Scales, some decent guys here. So I'm rather hopeful we can turn a few more lemons into lemonade here, because on the champ one, we managed to do that a little bit when we brought in Ronald Araujo, which was a deal I was quite happy to do because we needed that extra La Liga defender. We wanted another Barca player, Uruguay international, and to just do a straight swap on him for a Quattro card, it just felt like a good move. So we want to do a little bit more of that, and that is what I will be doing with these available rares. If you're interested in any of the available rares, feel free to shoot me an offer. I'll be happy to negotiate, discuss, sell, trade, kind of whatever you fancy. But I think I've got some good stock here. I've got some good ammo to go into the market with and try and, is there any more all-star caliber mids or forwards I would like to bring in a classic setting? Is there any more Celtic squad depth I need? Like, I need another Schmeichel? Probably do. Need to be agile to Celtic signings as well, potentially, in case there's any smashers that come out. But otherwise, from a classic POV, like, we're totally binning off having a presence in the Contender region because, again, from a classic point of view, these guys are great to help facilitate the all-star push that we're going to have still in the gallery, which I'm all about. But regionally, we don't care about having enough of them to facilitate moving into in-season. If we get in-season, the only thing we're going to be aware of is we've got a Tani for a goalkeeper, maybe a Jardim as well, of course, and we've maybe got guys like Depay or whatever to captain, and maybe a ragtag bunch of guys that maybe we craft over some periods of time or we win. Because we're in All-Star, we're going to win cards in that region. We're going to win cards in the Challenger region as well, and we're also going to win cards in the Champion region. And that means that really the classic effort that we're going to be putting in this year should spawn out, over time, some more players in the Eredivisie. And as you can see here, we've actually got a nice little spine on the go here. It should spawn out some players into maybe the Jupiler League. And we've got some bits and bobs here, so on and so forth. So starting with the All-Star core and the essence that we've saved up from last season, I am personally hoping to hit the ground running as quickly as I hoped last year. But I'm hoping that I've learned the lessons of last year. We can see the developments that they're making right here, right now, and we can kind of marry up experience with expectations a bit better this time around. Whereas last year, there was expectations and theories and hypotheses because it was a total change to the game structure. And I think now we've got a better handle, a better idea on what it will take to be successful, and we've got more of a heads up from Sorare in terms of the plans and everything else that's going on. So Champ Euro for me is going for gold, going for the fences. Can we win Yamals and Mbappes and get the big money that's involved in the champ in-season elements? But then the other stuff, the All-Star, the Classic, is my bread and butter. It's going to be me turning over cards. It's going to be me trying to get into any competition as quickly and economically as I possibly can. And because of where everything's sitting at the moment, the variety of collections I've got and how those players have migrated across world football, I don't think there's any real need for me to make sure I've got more goalkeepers in these other areas or whatever. I think that's more important for the league-specific competitions. Do you have a goalkeeper in Eredivisie, Belgium, France, Spain, Germany, England? Because you need those guys as classics. Do you have guys in those leagues that could be captains? They're the main things I think that you do need to iron out if you're thinking with that in-season POV. But don't overlook or underestimate Classic. Although Classic is going to be happy hardcore mode, SO7, 4 entries, dog eat dog, battle of the collection bonuses and captain choices and everything else around it. I won a fair amount of cards last year. I think I'll win more cards this year. I think crafting will be more profitable this year or more prolific this year for most of us as well. I don't want to say all of us because that can't be true obviously, but I think the way this new game mode for crafting is going to work out, it will be easier to, pick your lane of, I'm trying to get into Belgium, I'm trying to get into Holland, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with that this year. And I feel that, I've got a little bit of a collateral now to go into the market. Wish me a bit of luck. We'll try and turn some lemons into lemonade here. On screen now is the other stream that we did, I mentioned earlier, in case you want to check that out, as well as something else that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this. Get into the comment section and let me know your thoughts and feelings. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.